you paused to breathe instead of spiraling. These things may feel tiny, insignificant even, but your nervous system notices. Your mind takes notes. Your body remembers. I can still choose. Small wins stack. They build momentum. They remind you that you're not powerless, even when life feels overwhelming. So don't underestimate the little things. Write them down. Celebrate them. Let them remind you resilience isn't built in a single leap. It's built one steady step at a time, and every step counts. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Stress isn't always the enemy. Stress means your body is trying to rise, to meet a challenge. The problem is when it doesn't stop, when the pressure never lets up, when the system never resets. That's when stress turns into burnout. And burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. So resilience isn't about pretending stress isn't real. It's about learning how to notice it early. Listen to what it's telling you and release it before it breaks you down. So what does coping without collapsing look like? It looks like pausing to stretch when your body feels tight. It looks like drinking water before your third coffee. It looks like naming your feelings out loud. I'm overwhelmed. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. So they don't stay bottled up inside. It looks like taking 5 minutes to breathe before you hit send on that email, before you scroll endlessly, before you shut down completely. Coping isn't about doing something huge. It's about building tiny release valves so the pressure doesn't explode. You don't need to master everything today. You just need practices that keep you steady. And steadiness, not perfection, is what keeps resilience alive. So the next time stress rises, ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do right now to ease this pressure without collapsing under it? That one thing, that's resilience in action. Here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. You're going to fall sometimes. You'll miss the deadline. You'll ghost the text. You'll quit the habit you swore you'd keep. And when that happens, the critic inside gets loud. See, you can't stick to anything. You'll never change. You always mess it up. But listen, falling doesn't mean failing. Falling is human. Failing is when you decide not to rise again. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to let the fall be the final word. Every stumble is an invitation. Will you stay down, or will you rise different this time? Here's the secret. Setbacks can be fuel. When you pause to ask, what did this teach me? The fall becomes information, not condemnation. Missed the workout? Now you know mornings drain you, so maybe evenings fit better. Fell back into old habits? Now you know the triggers, so you can plan your environment differently. Every setback carries a seed of strategy if you choose to look for it. And when you rise again, you're not starting from zero. You're rising with more wisdom, more awareness, more fuel. So next time you fall, don't waste your energy in shame. Use it in resilience. Remind yourself, this stumble is not my story's ending. It's part of the climb. And each time you bounce back, you strengthen the muscle of resilience. Not because you were flawless, but because you kept going anyway. Let's be real, your energy isn't infinite. You wake up each morning with a tank that needs protecting, and if you let everyone drink from it, without limits, you'll be empty by noon. That's why boundaries matter. Not because you're selfish, not because you're cold, but because your energy is sacred. Resilience isn't about pushing yourself until you break. It's about knowing what drains you, what fuels you, and choosing wisely. So stop thinking boundaries make you hard to love. Boundaries are what make love sustainable. Because when you protect your energy, you show up more present, more steady, more real. So, what do daily boundaries look like? It might be saying, I can't talk right now, but I'll call you tomorrow. It might be turning your phone on silent after a certain hour. It might be giving yourself permission to say no without explaining yourself 100 times. And listen, boundaries don't have to be perfect or permanent. They can shift as your needs shift. But the key is this. Boundaries keep you from leaking energy into places that don't deserve it. That way, you can pour into the places that truly matter. Try it now. Pick one small boundary you could practice today. Maybe it's not checking emails after dinner. Maybe it's limiting how long you stay in draining conversations. Maybe it's carving out 10 minutes just for you. Notice how your body feels when you picture holding that line. Relief, tension, a little guilt. That's okay. Boundaries take practice, but every time you hold one, you're telling yourself, my energy matters. And that message, that's the foundation of resilience. Here's something most people overlook. Resilience isn't built in the big moments. It's built in the small ones, the daily choices, the little habits that either drain you or refill you. When life feels chaotic, routines give you rhythm. They remind your nervous system, you are safe, you are steady, you have ground beneath you. Without those anchors, everything feels like crisis. Every challenge feels bigger than it is. But with simple routines, your body and mind learn to trust stability. And that trust makes it easier to handle disruption when it comes. So what does this look like? It's not about strict schedules or forcing yourself into rigidity. It's about rhythms that restore you. It might be starting your morning with 5 minutes of silence before checking your phone. It might be setting aside time to stretch, to walk, to breathe, not because it's dramatic, but because it steadies you. It might be ending the day by writing down one good thing that happened, so your brain learns to release stress instead of carrying it into tomorrow. These routines are not luxuries. They are resilience practices. Think of them like charging your phone. You wouldn't expect your battery to last without plugging it in. So why expect your spirit to endure without restoration? Pick one routine to practice this week. Keep it simple. Keep it repeatable. And notice how it shifts your energy. Because resilience doesn't just show up when life gets hard. It's built daily in the quiet choices that restore your strength before the storm comes. Here's something that might surprise you. Anxiety isn't always a sign you're broken. At its core, anxiety is your body's alarm system. It says, pay attention. Something feels uncertain. Something might need care. The problem comes when the alarm never shuts off. When every sound, every thought, every possibility feels like a siren blaring inside your chest. That constant alarm drains your energy, steals your focus, and convinces you you're powerless. But here's the truth. Anxiety is not the enemy. It's a messenger, and resilience grows when you learn to listen to the message without letting the alarm control your whole day. So, how do you work with anxiety instead of fighting against it? First, notice it in your body. Where does it land? Your chest? Your stomach? Your shoulders? Name it gently. I feel anxious, not I am anxious, because you are more than this feeling. Second, pause for breath. Inhale slow for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Do it again until the alarm softens, until your body remembers you are not in danger right now. Third, ask the anxiety, what are you trying to tell me? Maybe it's reminding you to prepare for something ahead. Maybe it's telling you you've stretched too thin. Maybe it's pointing to a place where you need support. When you treat anxiety as awareness, you shift from panic to presence. Because now, instead of drowning in it, you're using it. And that's resilience. Not erasing the alarm, but learning how to respond to it with steadiness and care. So the next time anxiety rises, don't hate it. Don't shame yourself for feeling it. Pause, breathe, listen, and then act from awareness, not from fear. That shift, that's how you turn anxiety into resilience. Here's something nature teaches us. The strongest trees aren't the stiffest ones. The trees that survive storms are the ones that bend with the wind. not the ones that try to resist it. Resilience works the same way. When you're too rigid, when you demand perfection, when you cling to one plan, one path, one identity, life's changes feel like destruction. But when you stay flexible, you can adapt. You can shift your approach without losing yourself. You can move with the storm instead of snapping under its weight. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. So, how do you build flexibility? Start small. If a plan changes, instead of spiraling, practice asking, what's another way forward? If something goes wrong, instead of labeling it failure, ask, what can I learn from this? If a door closes, remind yourself, closed doors redirect me. They don't define me. Flexibility is a mindset shift. It's trading the question, why is this happening to me? For, how can I move with this and grow through it? And just like stretching a muscle, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Try one flexible act today. Maybe take a different route home. Maybe say yes to something new. Maybe let yourself rest instead of pushing past exhaustion. Every time you practice bending, you prove to yourself, I don't have to break. That's resilience, not in pretending life won't test you, but in knowing you can adapt, shift, and still stand strong. Most of the weight we carry doesn't live in the present moment. It comes from replaying the past, what you should have done, what you could have said, what you wish had gone different. Or it comes from fearing the future, what might happen, what could go wrong, what you don't feel ready for. Both spirals steal your strength. They drain energy from right now, the only place you can actually act. That's why grounding in the present is such a powerful resilience tool. Because when you anchor here, in this breath, in this step, in this choice, you take back control from the swirl of past and future. Here are a few ways to practice. Start with your senses. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. This pulls your body and mind back into the present moment. Or try mindful breathing. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Do it 3 times. Another practice. Say out loud what's true right now. I'm sitting in this chair. My feet are on the floor. My hands are steady. Simple, yes, but powerful. Because your nervous system relaxes when it knows exactly where you are. Grounding isn't about denying the past or ignoring the future. It's about reclaiming your power in the one place you actually have it, here. And each time you ground yourself, you strengthen the truth. I can handle this moment. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. This one. And that's how resilience grows, one present breath at a time. Sometimes people roll their eyes at hope, like it's soft, like it's naive, like it belongs only to dreamers. But hope, real hope, isn't blind. It's brave. Hope is saying, yes, I see the struggle. Yes, I know the odds. Yes, I feel the weight. And still, I will believe in a future worth moving toward. That's not ignorance, that's courage. Because despair is easy. It takes no effort to give up. But hope is a daily decision to keep walking when the road feels long. And that decision is what fuels resilience. So, how do you keep hope alive, especially on the hard days? You start small. Write down one thing you're looking forward to, even if it's as simple as tomorrow's sunrise, a phone call with a friend, or finishing a book you love. Speak hope into your day. This moment is heavy, but it won't last forever. Surround yourself with reminders, quotes on your wall, songs that lift you, stories of people who endured and made it through. And when despair whispers, "What's the point?" answer with hope. The point is, I'm still here. The point is, I still matter. The point is, tomorrow still holds possibility. Hope doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be constant. It just has to be present enough to keep you moving. Because resilience isn't built on certainty. It's built on faith that your effort, your healing, your journey is worth continuing. So let hope be your fuel, not as fantasy, not as denial, but as daily courage, the choice to rise again, to step forward, to keep building tomorrow. We've walked through the truth tonight. Resilience isn't about being unshakable. It's not about never falling, never stressing, never breaking down. Resilience is about rising again. It's choosing small wins daily. It's setting boundaries to protect your energy. It's learning to breathe through anxiety, to bend instead of break, to root yourself in the present moment. Resilience is fueled by hope, not blind optimism, but the quiet courage to believe tomorrow still matters. And when you put all of that together, you see resilience for what it really is. Not perfection, but persistence. Not being untouched, but being unbroken. That's the strength you carry now. Take one more breath with me. Inhale steady. Exhale slow. Hold this truth in your chest. You are more resilient than you give yourself credit for. And resilience practiced daily becomes not just survival, but strength. But the journey doesn't end here. Resilience is powerful, yes, but it deepens even more when paired with understanding. At 9 p.m., Satoshi Tanaka will meet you. His voice carries calm precision. the balance of Japanese and English rhythm, the wisdom of emotional literacy, where I have guided you to practice resilience in action. He will guide you to understand the language of emotions themselves so you can name them, navigate them, and never be ruled by them. So breathe once more. Inhale resilience, exhale readiness, and step forward from surviving with strength to understanding with clarity. Strength isn't always loud. Here's the thing about resilience. It's not always about being tough, loud, or unshakable. Sometimes resilience is soft. It's showing up for yourself when no one else is watching. It's sending the text you've been avoiding. It's getting out of bed on the day your body feels heavy. It's choosing water instead of numbing out again. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. And those whispers, they add up. Every small choice to keep going, every quiet step forward, that's resilience at work. You don't need to break records. You just need to keep moving. Resilience lives in